Today I'm going to be talking about sacrifice. Now, why am I talking about this today specifically? Because right now it's 6 in the morning basically, and I have to go to community service. I go to community service from 7 to 3. Unless it rains, I'll be sent home early. Now, what's the sacrifice, you might ask? Well, my cousins from out of town, from Mexico, are in town right now. One of them's downstairs asleep on the couch. The other one's asleep in my mom's room on the couch. And also, a friend of mine spent the night and asleep in my room. Now, I don't really want to go to community service because I want to hang out with them. I want to spend time with them because my cousin leaves hypothetically before I get back from community service. Unless it rains, because I'll get sent home early and I'll be able to hang out with him. Otherwise, I'll get home right after he leaves. So, yeah, I'm hoping it rains. So hopefully I get some time with him. But if not, such is life. I gotta sacrifice the time to finish what I gotta get done. I should have had my community service done by this point already. I had to do 200 hours, and every few weekends I would miss a day or get sent home early because of the rain. There were like 2 weekends or maybe 3 weekends where I just didn't do it at all. So by now I would have gotten it done. What I realized is I'd be a lot happier if I had it done right now, because it kind of eats up my entire weekend. I have to go from 7 to 3 Saturday, Sunday, right? So after working from, if you include travel time, after working from 6:10, 5:30 p.m., 6 p.m. basically, 12 hours a day, that kind of sucks, right? To then go 7 to 3 Saturday and Sunday. So I just want to get it done. So today I almost made the decision to email my probation officer and tell her I wasn't going to go today. Cousins were in town, and I realized, no, I need to get this out of the way now. And that's the importance of sacrifice, especially when you're heading towards your goals of any kind, right? Even a goal as simple as this, complete my community service, you have to sacrifice. Now, the higher your goal is, the more you have to sacrifice, right? Right now, I've got some pretty high goals that I'm trying to achieve, and therefore I've sacrificed a lot of things. I haven't seen any anime this week, pretty much. Watched any Netflix, haven't done any of that kind of stuff. I've only played video games if I'm on stream. So I think it's important that you realize when you're headed towards your goals that you're gonna need a sacrifice. That if you're not sacrificing, you're just slowing down your progress towards that goal. And the more you sacrifice, the more likely it is you'll even make it there, right? Most people say they want to do something and spend, say, 5 hours a day in a combination of browsing social media, watching Netflix, randomly chatting on the phone, gossip about a friend or some shit like that, right? And they spend let's say 5 hours a day on that. 5 hours a day, right, is 35 hours a week. The weekend's even worse though. The weekend they usually spend more. Let's assume they only spend 5 hours. Then it's 35 hours a week. 35 hours a week. It's a full working week pretty much. That they're wasting doing random bullshit. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand. Oh, but I want to watch this show. I want to watch this thing. I don't know, whatever show you're watching on Netflix. Well, I get that it's something you want to do, and maybe it regenerates you or provides you with comfort. But here's something interesting: comfort is the death of progress. The more comfortable you get, the less you grow. The more uncomfortable it is, the more you grow, the more you get strengthened. Right? Right now, I've been waking up at 4:30 in the morning every morning, and my willpower and discipline was something that was already really, really high. I've been working out every single day for months and months and months now. And even for like years before that, I was working out very, very frequently, 4 or 5 times a week. But this whole process of waking up at 4:30 in the morning every morning kind of took it to a whole nother level. My willpower. When I woke up this morning, I didn't want to get up. I just thought, email my probation officer, just go right back to sleep, get some rest. I'm a little tired, maybe it's time to take one of those days and just get some rest. Nah, because the days where I fail, days where I fail to get up at 4:30 in the morning, because either my body forces me to sleep or I just don't, like my willpower breaks. I wake up, I look at the alarm, and I'm literally like SpongeBob in that episode when he doesn't get water. I'm just all like the right. When it gets to that point, I'm gonna take the rest day. Right? So yeah, it's important that you realize that if you make sacrifices by choice and willingly, it makes it easier, right, to deal with it when those sacrifices are made against your will, right? Or if life somehow takes something from you and makes the sacrifice for you, it makes it easier to deal with those scenarios because you're already used to it. You're used to just pulling it away from yourself. It's not that bad if life pulls it away from you. Meaning, like, let's say you carve out a Saturday, you plan to hang out with a friend, and then something happens with your friend and your friend cancels on you last minute. Well, sweet, it's not that big a deal. You'll see your friend next week, you'll see your friend 2 weeks from now, you'll see your friend the next time you see your friend. Because you've already been used to pulling your friends away to focus on your task. Let's say you have a chapter of a book you need to get out, your publisher or something, right? And you've been distracted and you haven't been working on it, whatever. And then you decide to pull your friends away. You're like, all right, book off friends just for this weekend. And on that weekend, you just work, and you get the chapter out, right? Good on you. Now, once you get to a point where, let's say your friend cancels on you, like a Saturday, and your friend cancels on you, you're just going to take that time and use it efficiently, right? Now, most people don't do this. Most people, they're gonna hang out with a friend, their friend cancels on them, they try to make plans with another friend, or they go home and they binge watch Netflix or something like that, right? They don't do something productive with their time. It's like, if you're already going to be alone, right? And there's nothing pressing that you really, really want to do. Like if a new episode of a show comes out that you really want to watch, you've been waiting for all week, sure, go watch that episode, right? But that doesn't mean watch 9 hours of Netflix on a Saturday just because you want to relax and re-energize or whatever, right? That's way too much time. You don't need that as much as you think you do. So it's important that you realize certain things need to be sacrificed in order to achieve your goals and in order to make significant progress towards your goals. I think people overestimate how much they really need, and they underestimate how much is needed to be sacrificed if you want to make significant progress towards your goals. I think people are too comfortable in this day and age, and they see no problem with that. And I can tell because of the reactions that people have to me doing this. They're like, oh, Chris, but don't do community service Saturday, Sunday, just do it for like 5 hours on Sunday. You'll be done with it when you're done with it. Don't worry about it, right? Nah, they don't understand that it's much more disruptive and annoying to have to do 5 hours every Sunday for 40 weekends than it is to just do 12 weekends of really intense Saturday, Sunday and be done with it, or less even. Um, Concentrated effort can kind of perform miracles. So I think it's important that you sacrifice things if you really want to make progress towards your goals. Now, me, I really don't want to make this sacrifice today. I'm exhausted. I really want to hang out with my friend and my cousins. I don't like the idea right now. I don't feel like my stomach is kind of blah because I just ate a pretty big breakfast. I'm kind of just like, so I don't really want to go to community service. But I do regret those days in the past that I chose not to go because I was tired. Because by now I would have been done. It's September 21st. I would have been done by now if I hadn't taken those days. So I'm stopping myself now so that when, let's say, October 10th or so, or 12th comes around, which is when I should hypothetically be done, by the time that day rolls around, I won't regret it again. I won't regret today. I won't regret that I stayed home today because I'm not going to stay home. I'm going to go and I'm going to do my community service. That's what I should do. That's what I need to do. The responsible thing to do, right? I think people kind of forget about accountability and responsibility when it comes to themselves. When it comes to other people, they have no problem identifying it. But when it comes to themselves, they have a problem seeing that. So I think it's important that, if you want to be great, if you want to really get far in life, you're gonna have to make some pretty big sacrifices. And by pretty big, I mean massive, right? Like, forget any kind of relaxation time. Like Monday through Friday, like, forget watching TV. Like, forget coming home and reading some fantasy novel. Nah, look, you could do it, right? If you only had one devotion, let's say you were insanely devoted to knitting, then you could do it, because you only have one thing that you're focused on completely. So the extra time you can just relax, you can chill. You knit 5 hours a day, every day, and then the rest of the time you chill, you're gonna get really good at knitting, right? But when you're a person like me and you have multiple passions and you're pursuing multiple passions at the same time, you need to use every minute, every second of every minute of every hour in some sort of productive way, at least Monday through Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday, you want to spend a good chunk of it productively, right? Saturday, Sunday is when I take my rest time, where I relax and rejuvenate. But like today, it won't be till about 5 p.m. That's when I'll start relaxing, and I go to sleep at 9:30. It's 4.5 hours of relaxing time today. Sunday, tomorrow, I'll get home at 3 from the community service, and then I have optional relaxing time from 3 to 9:30. No, not really. It's like from 3 to 9, because from 9 to 9:30 I read. From 3 to 9:30, let's say, I have optional relaxing time. Now I say optional because a lot of the time I'll still choose to do something productive because I'll have nothing to do. I'll be here stuck at home. Nobody's over, and it makes no sense to just sit there and waste that time. When my time is so precious, Monday through Friday, I literally have like minutes here and minutes there to do things that on the weekend it's important to realize I should sacrifice this like random chill time, I guess you could call it, this leisure time. I should sacrifice it in order to make more progress towards my goals, because in the end, that makes me feel satisfied, it makes me happy, and the sooner I reach my goals, the sooner I'll enter a state of being where the majority of my time is spent doing something I like. Because right now I'm in a job I do not like. So if I get to a point where my passions can become my job, I'll be a lot happier and I'll also gain a lot of hours. Right now I'm going to work 7 to 4 Monday through Friday, about an hour commute, hour and 30 commute there, hour and 30 commute back. That's like 12 hours, pretty much 12 hours a day is being poured into this job I don't give a shit about. That's 60 hours a week, pretty much. Which, if I had those 60 hours extra to pursue my passions, that'd be awesome. Like, now I could use the weekend to just chill, or I could use like an hour or two a day to just relax, do nothing, hang out with a friend, and do absolutely nothing, right? But that's not really the case. So, I think people should take a look inward, analyze their lives as best as they can, and try to see how much am I really sacrificing? How much does this goal really mean to me? Okay? Because I think that if you really give a shit about a goal, you should be willing to sacrifice anything. There's a quote from a character in a show that I watched a while back. He says, "When I decided to become the world's greatest swordsman, I had already thrown my life away." So what he means by that is that even his own life, he had already decided to sacrifice to become the world's greatest swordsman. So anything smaller, oh, hang out with a friend, that's nothing compared to his life. He had already decided that he was going to dedicate his entire life to becoming the world's greatest swordsman, right? And either he would make it there or he would die, right? And those are the two options there. So he had already sacrificed the idea of having a normal life, the idea of having a life full of friendship and fun and all this kind of stuff. He embodied a life of training, and difficult battles. And so I think it's important to realize that the magnitude of your goal is directly proportional to the magnitude of your sacrifice. You have a goal here, you gotta sacrifice like this. You have a goal here, you gotta sacrifice like this. Yep. And yeah, that's like my little tidbit on sacrifice. Without further ado, out. Go do my community service. Thanks for listening to this. Sorry that I'm so low energy. It's very early in the morning.